Alexis Nunes alongside Mark Ogden, and forget about your Champions League, Augie, because we're talking Europa League, and the Europa League happens to have the current five leaders of the top European leagues so far, from Spain, Germany, England, etc. So that's where we're going, specifically looking at some of the Premier League clubs, starting with Manchester United, because it was a very bad week last week for them, getting knocked out of the Champions League. Now looking at the draw up against Real Sociedad, Augie, I think that's a tough one. How would they be feeling about this?
It is the worst possible tie for Man United, isn't it? In terms of a football tie, if you're taking on the leaders of the Liga, if you're taking the leaders of the Liga in February or March, it usually means you're playing Barcelona or Real Madrid, but you're playing Real Sociedad, which the surprise team in Spain right now, but the top of the league by merit. And it's a really tough game for Man United, not least because obviously David Silva, Man City legend, is coming back. Also for Man United fans, Adnan Januzaj still plays at Sociedad. But, when United were looking at the potential teams they could get in this round, they were looking at, it's the last 32. They were looking at maybe, playing Mulder or they're going to Solskjaer's old club. They weren't expecting to play the team that's at the top of La Liga. That's what you'd expect in the Champions League. So the good thing for Man United is it feels like a Champions League draw. The bad thing is it's in the Europa League.
Well, as some might say, it might be a blessing in disguise if they do get knocked out, and then they can just focus on the Premier League. But speaking of the Premier League, Jose Mourinho and Spurs have been flying high in the Premier League, but we do know that Jose knows how to win the UEFA Europa League. They're up against Wolfsberger from Austria. How do you see this one going?
Well, Wolfsberger are mid-table in Austria right now, and let's not forget that Spurs, they all became last in the group stage, a team that are second in Austria right now. So you think that Spurs would have plenty in the locker to come through this time. I think they will. I think of all the English clubs, of all the top clubs in the draw, this is the easiest draw of the lot. I think Tottenham will be quite comfortable. I think that Jose can probably rest a few of his senior players for this one, and then focus on the Premier League as well as the Europa League. So this is a great tie for Tottenham. I think Tottenham go through dead easily.
Well, what would you say about Arsenal then, their North London rivals? Because we know that Arsenal have been having an absolutely miserable season in the Premier League, but they do love them some Thursday night football as well, and a night out in Europe. They're up against Benfica, though. This does look like a really juicy matchup on paper. So how are you feeling for this one?
Yeah, again, a bit like the Man United tie. This is the tie that has Champions League feel about it, doesn't it? Arsenal, Benfica. This could easily be a last eight tie in the Champions League. They've both got great pedigree, but they're both in the Europa League. And I think, the focus at Arsenal right now is on how bad they've been playing recently. But this game is in 2 months, and I think by then, I do think Mikel Arteta is the right man to turn it around at Arsenal. By the time this tie comes around, they may have got players out, they may have got players in. I think they'll be in a much better place. But still, Benfica, second in Portugal right now, a proper European heavyweight team. A lot depends on where the fans are in the stadiums by then, because obviously if there are fans in the Stadio de Luz, it'll be a tough encounter for Arsenal, similarly if there's fans at the Emirates. So hopefully there will be fans inside stadiums for these games. But right now, I think that, it's a tough tie to call, but I don't think we can judge Arsenal's current form as to how they will play against Benfica in February. So I think the time will tell on this tie.
And finally, let's talk about Leicester City, because with all of the headlines that usually surround the Spurs and Uniteds and Arsenals of the Premier League, it seems like Leicester have been slipping under the radar a little bit, but they have made it here to this far in the Europa League. They're up against Slavia Prague next. Would you pick them to get past?
Yeah, I think so. I think Slavia Prague are, a famous name from the past. They're a good team in the Czech Republic. But I think, nowadays, all the best players, as soon as they've got anything that about them, will move to a major European team. So Slavia are a team that's an emerging team, but I think that Leicester will have too much. I think, this is a good tie for Brendan Rodgers' team. They'll go through, I think, quite comfortably. You look at some of the ties in the around. There's some real standouts. Red Star Belgrade versus AC Milan. That's a real box office tie for football nostalgics. That European Cup winning side of the 1990s at Red Star and Milan. You've got Rangers playing Antwerp again. Steven Gerrard's done a fantastic job at Rangers. Rangers will fancy their chances getting through that tie. So we could have a battle of Britain in the round of 16 if Rangers get through and face one of the English teams.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.